break. Just a reminder, we are also broadcasting to everyone in HSE High School. So, it's not just this group. We have about 3,450 other viewers, approximately. So good morning, Noah. All of us face challenges every single day. Challenges are a part of life, and facing challenges is what makes us stronger. We are here this morning to honor one of our own, Noah Malone, a former Royal who has experienced extreme challenges, but did not let those challenges get in the way of his achievements. Before we begin, we have some special guests with us today. Dr. Stokes, Superintendent of HSE Schools, Dr. Kegley and Ms. Lippy, Assistant Superintendents. We have Michelle Britton-Watts, Director of Secondary Ed. We have Nataki Pettigrew, Chief Equity and Inclusion Officer. We have Ryan Taylor, Director of Student Services, so thank you for being here. We also have Mr. Todd Houston, Speaker of the Indiana House of Representatives, and also a former Royal, might I add. And we have Jennifer Gray, daughter of Vicki Gray. Vicki Gray may be one of your school counselors. She's in our guidance department. Jennifer was an assistant district attorney for 10 years and was the lead attorney for the Department of Insurance for her state. She was diagnosed with Leber's hereditary optic neuropathy 4 years ago. Since that diagnosis, Jennifer spends her time serving on boards for people with disabilities and advocating for people with visual impairment. I would like to formally welcome Jennifer Gray, as she would like to say a few words about Noah.
Good morning. Thank you for that introduction. I appreciate that. I am Jennifer Gray, and I do have a few words to say about Noah and his accomplishments, but I believe we have a short video to play first, so if that's ready to go.
Oh, we're counting down to the Tokyo Olympic Games. I'm going to go with 16 days because, 15 days and 23 hours and 18 minutes, that's almost 16 days. But of course, you'll be able to watch them all right here on Channel 13 beginning on that Friday. Then after the Olympics, it's on the Paralympics in September, and a former track and field champion from here in Indiana is going to be going for gold.
He's had to overcome some serious hurdles on the way to achieving this dream. New this morning, our John Duran shares his story of leading with heart.
It was surreal. A lot of, work has paid off, so it was definitely a sigh of relief that I'm done with that part of the anxious feeling.
Representing his country has been a long traveled journey.
Man, it was hard for sure because, I was 13.
Noah Malone had to relearn everything after losing most of his eyesight as an 8th grader.
I didn't know how to handle major events like that in my life yet, so it was hard, especially knowing that it will keep getting worse over that span of the year.
He was diagnosed with Leber's hereditary optic neuropathy.
What that does is it strips away most of my central vision and leaves me with peripheral vision outside of my eyes, so I can see just in the corner of my eyes a little bit and just around the central part of my eye.
An athlete all his life, he wondered if that could put an end to his sprinting career.
For track, it was more so just knowing if I would be able to compete on that same elite level like I was before, and that was the hardest part because I was still running in Junior Olympics in 7th grade before I lost my vision, and I wanted to still be at that level, so that was probably the most nerve-wracking part for me.
Malone had it all figured out when high school rolled around.
It might have been freshman year of high school here at HSE. That was probably the first time I was I could really do it from an elite level.
His junior year, Malone was a state champion for the Royals in the 200-meter dash.
I just had to have track to motivate me.
Something he picked up from his dad when Malone started losing his vision.
He just said, find something to keep you motivated, I guess. And for me, that was track. So, I had goals of becoming a state champion, going D1, all these different goals for track. And I didn't really want my vision to get in the way of that. Having a very good supporting team around you and having that one thing that keeps you motivated and happy no matter what.
What a great story. Malone's a former state champion from Hamilton Southeastern in the 200 and had a successful freshman campaign at Indiana State this past spring. He becomes the second American from Indiana State to qualify for the Paralympic or Olympic Games. And it's just great that he was met with that adversity and he found a way to make it into a positive.
Oh, I love it. And we are going to be cheering him on for sure.
So my
That gives you a little bit of more background about Noah and his accomplishments. I wanted to speak briefly about the connection that I have felt to Noah, even though I just met him in person for the first time today. But as was mentioned, I am an attorney in Raleigh, and I was diagnosed with LHON as well about 4 years ago. And it is challenging. It's a big life change, but it's much easier with the help and support of friends and family. And I know Noah has a very supportive family and community, which has helped him get to where he is. I've spoken with his mother several times. I've met his sister and dad who are here today, and has a very good support network there. I was lucky enough to have that as well. But what I realized as I was going through the journey of dealing with life without vision, that I not only needed the support of my friends and family, I really needed to see somebody who had been through something similar and see what they were able to accomplish with the same challenges that I was facing. And so that's when I heard about Noah, and my mom mentioned that he had actually gone to her high school. So I was following him and getting more involved in the LHON community, the blind community, and we actually LHON.org is a nonprofit nationally, well, I guess internationally. And we're having one of our live calls in one of Noah's meets in Tokyo. And so we all stopped the call to cheer him on. So that was kind of the beginning of my interest in Noah's pathway and the accomplishments that he's had. And it was very inspiring to me. And I think it's very important to have role models in that sense, people that you can look up to that you know have made it work, and it gives you hope and inspiration. And I know Noah takes it very seriously. He's not just an amazing athlete and student, he also takes his role as a role model very seriously as well. You can tell from interviews he's given that he's happy to share his story if it can help anyone going forward. And I think that's so important because we will all face challenges and adversity in our lives. And to have someone who's already paved that pathway for you and made it a little easier going forward for everyone who comes after them is an amazing role to play. And I know for me personally, seeing Noah be so accomplished and determined and brave really inspired me to do the most that I can do with my life as well, even facing the same challenges. And I just wanted to say that not only, Noah, are you doing this for yourself and for your friends and family and for your community, and the blind community, the disabled community, but for anyone who's going to face adversity, which would likely be all of us at some point in our lives. So you really pave the pathway to show people that you can still have an amazing life and accomplish anything you want to. So Noah, I not only congratulate you for your accomplishments, but I thank you for giving me hope and inspiration. And I would now like to introduce Jim Self, who is one of the athletic directors here, if you want to say a few words.
Well, I asked Noah how he wanted to do this. You know, he's done a TED Talk. He's spoken a lot of different situations. And we talked over Thanksgiving break, and I said, Noah, how about I just ask you a few questions? And I think he thought that might have been the easiest. You agree?
Yeah.
You nervous about this?
No.
You're not?
No.
Is that because of me that you're not nervous? Or you just speak so much that this doesn't make you nervous?
Probably both. You know, I've known you for how long, so.
6
yeah.
years.
6 years, so yeah, I trust you.
I'm nervous. I'm speaking to the most accomplished athlete in Hamilton Southeastern history, and one of our favorite alumni here. I'm speaking in front of Superintendent, I'm nervous. 3,400 people might be
All
watching.
right. Well, when you say it like that, all right, maybe. A
Make
little.
me look good.
Okay, make me look good.
You didn't get a list of these questions.
Okay, I'm nervous. All right.
Okay, that's good. Now we're both on the same playing field. Noah, who'd you bring with you today?
So I brought my dad sitting right there, and then I brought my sister Zion Malone, who goes to Fall Creek Junior High.
Zion just gave us a look like you didn't really have to introduce me. Tell me about your relationship with Zion, your little sister.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I hang out with her all the time. Like, we joke around all the time. We go places together. So it's like, yeah, like, in a way, she's like my best friend. So it's my sister and also somebody I spend a lot of time with. So.
I'm going to ask her afterwards if she thinks you're her best friend.
I hope so.
She help you pick out clothes?
She's honest with me. She'll be like, no, that doesn't look good. And that's
She
like,
tell you if it matches or not?
yeah, it's like 9 out of 10 times she'll say no. So.
Okay. Zion, do you ever think about just messing with him? I would too. I would. Yeah, that matches, Noah. No, it doesn't. Noah, you're a Paralympian.
Yeah.
How cool is that? Huh? It is a great day for me. It's a great day for Hamilton Southeastern Athletics that we can honor you. Noah,
Thank you.
what does it mean to be a Paralympian?
It means a lot. I mean, especially with the games getting pushed back, well, to this year from last year. It was like a whole nother year of stress and waiting if you're going to make the team. So back in June, when I figured I was going to make the team after trials, you know, it was a sigh of relief. It was also just another layer of anxiety because you got to go to Tokyo and actually get the job done. But no, it was a huge honor to represent the country, represent Fishers, HSC, Indiana State. So, yeah, I'm just happy about the opportunity. It was a good time.
What a blessing. What a blessing. Noah, a Paralympian, for those of us that don't know, I think I do, but what does that mean, you're a Paralympian?
Yeah, so, I mean, the Paralympics in general, people sometimes could get it confused with other things, but it's basically, it's under the umbrella of the Olympics, but it's for physically disabled athletes, such as myself, so visually impaired, cerebral palsy, if you're in a wheelchair, like if you're paralyzed. There's countless of disabilities that would fall under the Paralympics, so it's the same thing, but just, you know, for disabled people.
Noah, what was your favorite part?
Honestly, you'd probably get a kick out of this.
I'm going to answer for you when you're done, so go ahead.
All right, so we'll see if it matches. My favorite moment was the 400. It was, to be specific, the 400 finals. Honestly, for a couple reasons, because I ran 47.9, and before Tokyo, trials I ran 49. So I PR'd by a whole lot, and I really wasn't expecting that. So that was probably it was a huge, like, just weight off my shoulders to run that type of time. And I don't even train for it. I don't run the 400, so it was like another cool moment. I got silver in that event, so that's always a good feeling to get silver. You know, obviously I want to shoot for gold, but, you know, any medal is not guaranteed when you're at that level. So I was cool with it. So there was that. I mean, it was in the rain, so like the conditions were terrible, and then, you know, to still have a performance like that, yeah, it was great.
So tell us, you silver medaled in the 400. What else?
So silver medal before the 4, I had the 100, and I had silver medal in the 100 as well. So silver, and then the relay, the universal relay got gold. So silver, gold.
Gold medal.
Yeah.
No, am I correct that gold medal, you're standing on a platform, they're playing the national anthem?
Yep. We all had
getting better than that.
It doesn't.
It doesn't get, maybe the Hamilton Southeastern School song, but
yeah, that's a close second.
it's a close second. No, I thought for sure, and those of you that know Noah, I can speak to Coach Alano out there and Zion, his dad. I thought for sure you might tell me about the gear, the swag that you got for being a USA Olympian. You like that stuff?
Yeah, okay. All right. I forgot about that part. But yeah, so it was great. I mean, you know, they gave us stuff before, but the biggest surprise for me, which I kind of knew, but we kind of didn't. But when we got to the village in Tokyo, they had 2 like big suitcases full of stuff and like shoes and stuff. So that was like a big surprise because like when that happened, I think that's really when it hit because it's before the races. That's like, wow, like we're like really in Tokyo about to run and like we're really on like Team USA. So, you know, it was a cool feeling it was a surreal moment right there. So
And no, I'm correct that mom, dad, sister were not in Tokyo.
No family, no friends, no spectators in general in Tokyo. So it was different.
You were just competing.
Yeah, it was really different. I've
Yeah.
never done anything. Because it's weird because that stadium, I don't know how much it holds, but it was huge. And when there's nobody in there, it's very different. It's kind of like throws you off a little bit. That's why you have to like really focus. But you know, we got through it, so it was fine.
No, what's your favorite event?
My favorite event has to be the 200.
The
That's
200.
probably my favorite. Yeah.
State champion in 200.
Yeah, that's probably my favorite event.
Okay. No, what do you see when you're running the 200?
You know, I get that question a lot, and it's like, I see well enough to see the lines, so I can stay in my lane and even the curves. So I've never like ran out my lane or anything like that. But once I'm down on the straightaway, I can't see the finish line from probably about. Well, honestly, I can't see it until I'm 10 meters probably away from it. So I just run, but I've been running so long, it's just like I know where the finish line is in a sense, but it's like once I'm on it, then I can see it. So it's like muscle memory at this point.
And Noah, I remember when you were here, you would get other sprinters, and even with me or coaches, you would walk a track if it was a new track for you.
Yeah.
To figure out where the finish line was, correct?
Yeah, I still do that every meet. Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. Noah, when you ran for us, you anchored 400-meter relay.
Yeah, all 3 years. Yeah.
All 3 years. Yeah, it would have been a 4th, but we had this crazy thing called COVID.
Yeah.
Noah, you anchor, and I think it's important for the people listening in the classrooms, people here, why, first of all, you're the fastest kid. That's why you anchor. I'm an old track coach. I can figure this out. But why anchor for you?
Well, I think it's the most efficient spot for me because nobody really wants me handing off a stick like in the middle of a race. So, and I know how tight 4x1 races get. So, I mean, if I'm last, you're really not even supposed to look back, period, when you're kind of doing a relay. So, so there was a Coach Funk. He was the coach at Fall Creek Junior High back when I was just losing my vision in 8th grade. And he came up with this system like just have a coach just stand on the side of the track and just tell you to go so you don't have to look. And I was kind of like, that's kind of smart. So then it worked. And then I still use it. So at Indiana State my freshman year, we broke the school record. And I was using Coach Funk's like idea of just say go and then just give me audibles. So it's worked every single time I ran with HSC. It worked in Fall Creek. And I still I'm on the Indiana State 4x1 team now, and I'm anchor. And it works there too. So yeah, it paid off.
Because most relays, you look at a spot when incoming runner hits that spot, I take off. You can't do that.
No, yeah, I can't. If I put down tape, I wouldn't be able to see it. So there's no point in that.
Noah, what can't you do that you want to do?
Honestly, nothing. I could do everything I put my mind to still. Like, I would maybe do it in a different way, but I could still do it all.
You remember when you drove my golf cart?
Oh, yeah. What in the world were we doing?
It was a bad day.
Oh,
Things weren't going well.
Okay, yeah.
And I thought it would be a good idea to give a legally blind kid the opportunity to drive my golf cart.
Yeah, I did it, though.
Miss Kicksmiller was in on that.
Didn't crash.
No, you listened to verbal commands very well that day. Miss Kicksmiller was holding on for dear life. I just kept pushing the gas pedal, go.
It worked, though.
I figured they'd buy us a new one it was a good excuse.
We got back to the school.
We did.
So.
You want to drive a car?
Oh, me?
Yeah, can you?
Maybe the parking lot.
We'll get Mr. Rent's car after this. He wrecked his the first day he got it. Brand new one. Hit something in the garage. You can't do any worse than that. We can do it.
All right.
We can pull that off.
Your permission.
Mr. Rent, you in? Good. Noah, your book. I read it. It's my kind of book. Large print, lots of pictures.
Yeah.
It's really good. I'm proud of you for writing this.
Thank you.
Noah, do you remember when we first met?
I do actually. This was actually in 8th grade, technically, before I came here. So yeah.
You were deciding on whether you were going to go. Counselors were in that meeting. Your mom and dad, I think maybe your dad wasn't there. Your mom was in that meeting. And I saw a very nervous young man.
Yeah, I do.
That your world had just changed. You went from an able-bodied student athlete to trying to decide, can I function at a school like Hamilton Southeastern, or do I need Indiana School for the Blind? And do you remember that meeting?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I definitely do.
You nervous then?
Yeah, I was nervous. I was nervous the whole freshman year, sophomore year, like being in class. So, yeah, I remember.
Yeah. Noah, Indiana School of the Blind was very good for you.
They were.
Hamilton Southeastern, pretty good to you?
Oh, yeah. Still
Yeah.
is. Still is.
Noah, I don't know that I realized your condition. I knew you had it, but I hope I don't embarrass you when I say this. I think I would have when you were in the 8th grade. I think now as a sophomore in college, you understand. Sometime during that meeting, I was making eye contact with your mom. Your mom wanted you to be halftime at Hamilton Southeastern and halftime at Indiana School for the Blind. Dr. Kegley was very involved with the Indiana High School Athletic Association to make that happen. But sometime during that meeting, like every kid, your phone dinged. And you put your phone up to your nose. And I realized right then what you were dealing with.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't remember that, but I do. It very much made an impression on me that will last a lifetime. Noah, I can't begin to tell you how proud Hamilton Southeastern is of you.
Thank you.
You guys agree? Noah, we got some athletes in here. We got some student athletes watching. We got students with disabilities in our classrooms. Share a message with them. What would you tell them? What's your takeaway to give them today?
I tend not to like repeating myself, but I just say the same thing I always say is just, if you have something that you have to get over, just find something to motivate you, and it'll make it a whole lot easier, and you'll be a whole lot more motivated if you have something to strive for, and you're not just sitting there, in a sense, just moping around. Like, if you have something that'll get you out the funk, and, if you have a goal, then, yeah, just strive for it, and it'll make life a whole lot easier, in a sense.
No, I'm going to ask you one more question, then I'm going to turn this over to Representative Houston. But in the book, you talk about your mom wanting you to take your cane with you to Indiana State, and you chose not to do that.
Oh, yeah.
And you said in the book, and correct me if I'm wrong, that you use your voice to advocate for yourself.
Yeah. A couple of things with that, actually. Back when I was that happened freshman year. So back in freshman year and sophomore year, I wouldn't say embarrassed to use a cane, but I didn't really like broadcasting that I was visually impaired to people. So, because, it may bring jokes or whatever. But as I'm older now, looking back, because I was, 14, 15 then, I'm 20 now, so I'm more at an understanding that the cane is not about just broadcasting that people actually really need a cane to get around and maneuver, and sometimes people do need to let people know that they're visually impaired, and if they're crossing the street, cars will know. So it's I just looked at it as just something that'll bring attention instead of a tool. So, it's just maturity that comes with that. But, yeah, that's pretty much with that, yeah.
I think we all remember in high school, it's not easy to be 14, 15 years old.
No, not especially with like a visual impairment condition with a classroom of 30. So
No
yeah,
question.
Yeah, I know how it is.
Noah, I love you.
Love you too. Thank you.
I'm proud of you.
Thank you. Really appreciate it.
You have a tremendous platform to share a story. Jennifer, thanks for bringing this together today.
Yeah,
What a
thank you.
blessing. What a blessing. Hey, it is my honor to introduce Proud. Proud? Absolutely. 1990 HSE alumni, Indiana Speaker of the House, Mr. Todd Houston.
Thanks, Mr. Self. You're a tough act to follow. Noah, it is such a privilege to be here today. You know, I said to you earlier, Noah was in the same class as my youngest son, and I would hear Jake talk about Noah Malone all the time, about what a tremendous track and field athlete you were, and I would stare at my son played baseball, and I'd stand at the top of when there was a baseball game, I'd stand at the top of the bleachers at Ken Seitz Field and look back and see this blur running by, and it was you, and it was such a amazing thing to see, and you know, we couldn't be as a community more proud of you, and I'll tell you that it was fun. You know, I was at the Colts game where you were recognized, and it just so happened that day I was with 3 of my best friends who are all HSE alumni, and the pride that we all had that here's a kid that came from our school who did such amazing things and overcame so much. And I just sitting here today, I mean, it was just extraordinarily inspiring to hear what you had to say. And you're such a mature young man who's done so much to you know, just showcase your talents, but also your maturity to help others. And I am so grateful and thankful for the privilege today to offer you this proclamation from the House of Representatives, the Speaker of the House. I'm pleased to give this to you, recognizing your tremendous accomplishments in Tokyo. But I just say overall, I mean, we just chatted before this that, you know, you, like my son and so many other kids, lost your senior year and that frustration. But then when you mentioned to me earlier that you didn't just lose your senior year, you lost the year where you were planning on going to Tokyo, in which, you know, the types of setbacks that you've overcame, Noah, just amazing and inspiring. And I know you have an incredible future ahead. It's my honor and privilege today to provide you with this proclamation. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
So proud of you.
Thank you so much.
Right?
I appreciate it. Thank you.
That was awesome. No, I want to thank you what you've done for our school, for our community, for our state, for our country. I'm going to steal a line from Mr. Self. It is a great day to be a Hamilton Southeastern Royal. Thank you. Thank you all for being here. And we're excited to see what happens next with you. Have a good day.